A while ago, I was making a video about my friend who almost fell into the Tate version of the manosphere. And I say the Tate version because there's multiple different branches, I've since learned, and not all of them are exactly the Tate version. Either way, he almost fell into it, right? And one of the things I said I was going to do in that video was listen to a bunch of like philosophical reasons why we think the way we think and why we act the way we do, right? I listened to a bunch of philosophers, psychologists, mainly Freud, Jung. I can't list them all. There's like 7 or 8 of these people, okay? I listened to a lot. And I realized, like, halfway through, that maybe I was being a bit dumb. I was trying to map on. I feel like I've gotten to this point, like, where I'm trying to map shit with a bunch of advice that doesn't really seem to be accurate anymore. The internet has changed so very fucking much that I can't imagine these dead philosophers being able to comprehend the internet and how it's changed us. I probably had a better chance looking for a modern philosopher, but I feel like that still kind of misses the point. Let me try to explain what I mean here. Am I really going to use all of my lockpick? There's no shot. What's in there, bro? I want in. It's so whack. Fine. I'm not even supposed to be down here. I know the spell isn't down here. Maybe there's, like, more monsters under the sewers or something. I found myself continuously looking for direct answers to questions that didn't really have direct answers that these people would be able to give. I was looking in the wrong place, I think. The reason why my friend felt like women were belittling him is because it's a combination of things. It's interpretation, and then it's the fact of the matter that, yeah, that they probably fucking were, in a way. They weren't valuing you for the things that they would value other men for having. That's not your appeal. And while it's easy for me to say, well, if that's not your appeal, that's okay, we can just learn to deal with that, we can learn to cope with that. It's not exactly something that a young man wants to hear. Nobody really wants to hear that. Oh yeah, sure, you don't really fit into the mold, but hey man, you can get used to it. Who does that help? Doesn't help anybody. These philosophers, the psychologists especially, I kind of expected something different from them, I guess, because like I've played a lot of Persona, right? I'm very familiar with the mask that we wear to fit in society. I expected that if anyone would be able to explain why we believe the things we believe, it would have been them. But that didn't turn out to be the case. Oh, no shot. Am I actually able to see myself now? Oh yeah, I think that's me. Okay, that's super interesting. This is going to help me a lot. What am I trying to say here? Alright, yeah, that's the wave. Okay. I guess I expected foolishly. Well, if these... No, I still want to, like, I want to expand on what I mean by these guys didn't really have the right answers. I don't even know if I fucking said that, but they didn't have the right answers. They had irrelevant answers to the things that we're dealing with these days. This difference that we have between men and women, like masculinity and feeling that and understanding it. I wanted to expand on what I meant by they didn't have the right answers, right? Because something that people do a lot, and I kind of address this, but I didn't really get into too much detail with it, is that we prophetically listen to these old dead people, and we extrapolate, I don't know the fucking word, extrapolate, I think. We extrapolate meaning from what they say and how they say it, right? And that can make perfect sense, but the issue is, they don't directly say these things. Everything that we talk about when it comes to philosophers, including Nietzsche especially, it's so bad with Nietzsche because everybody gets it wrong. Everybody calls this guy a nihilist when he's not at all a nihilist. The issue is that you can extrapolate deeper meaning from these things, and usually this is done through over the course of years, right? It takes a lot of backlog, it takes a lot of expertise to get to a point where you are able to speak and really understand the deeper complexities of everything that you read. It's a type of training. This is the point of academia. This is what you go to college to do in academia. You go into college to understand these deeper meanings. I am not educated like that. So if there's deeper meanings, extrapolating it feels more like reading a horoscope. It feels like I'm listening to these philosophers and these sociologists and these psychologists talk about things, and I kind of have to just treat it like, oh yeah, I get exactly what he means because that lines up in this way, and I'm twisting and I'm bending in order to make things fit when they most certainly don't fit. Right? I don't know what it's supposed to be like, but it's probably not supposed to be like that. I should have bought this screwdriver earlier. I'm terrible at this. I have 1 HP and no regen and no luck. No luck? Yeah, no luck. I am in danger. I feel like I'm always in this situation where if I just read a little bit further into it, if I didn't just read so surface level, I'd be able to find exactly what the fuck I'm looking for. But that's not really. I get into this later, right? I don't really have to edit this part, but the answers that I'm looking for aren't necessarily the answers that are going to. Fuck! I didn't mean to reroll. Oh, I missed a really good item there. The answers I'm looking for aren't necessarily answers that anybody can give, from the perspective of not being familiar with the internet. All the solutions that have to come with uniting us and making us feel a part of the world and all in this together to make us feel united, it either has to come from severe ignorance, as in we know less, or it comes from part of persuading each other that, hey, we're worth it, you know? We're better than this. It doesn't have to be like this. You have to trust and believe that maybe not everything in the past was evil. Maybe there are key things in the past that we can go back to, and it will make things better. All right, then what are the things in the past, Luther? I don't know. There's probably something there. Is it the third place? Maybe. Is it better fucking housing? Maybe. Is it neighborhoods? Maybe. Is it religion? Because we don't have a third place and we need somewhere to fucking, like, a lot of people aren't ready to not pray to something. A lot of people aren't built. Maybe. I don't know. Like, we've had religion. I think religion's probably the answer. Spoiler alert. I don't say this in the video at all, by the way. This is why I'm kind of making this follow-up. Because I wasn't satisfied with what the fuck I said. So, we've lived on this planet for as long as humanity can remember with a fucking sun god, okay? The earliest civilizations were praying to fucking something. All theology hinges on this idea that early humans believed this, and they told stories. Now, how did this come about? I have a theory. It's not going to sound very glamorous, but I do indeed have a theory. I suspect that in those times where we had to rely on each other for food, warmth, and not getting killed by fucking wolves, we had these humans who would live until they were 30 years old, and they had to have offspring and do all this shit in that amount of time, right? You're a failure of a man if you don't leave seed behind, because it's super important, our population is important, it's still important today, but for some reason it's been abstracted so much that we can't really tell it's important, right? Nobody's taking this climate, I'm sorry, not climate, nobody's taking this population thing seriously because they don't really understand economics or how bad it can be for a country to have a dog shit population. They don't understand that their retirement is going to be the worst in the world because they chose not to have children. As it turns out, the people who don't have kids directly suffer from the choice of not having kids. It's just part of the incentive, but it's difficult to convey that, I guess. Anyway, so we have these guys who are like 30 years old and dead. But then we also have these other guys who, for some reason, nobody really remembers anymore. He's totally still alive, and he's still in the cave. And he's still fucking the women. And he's having kids. And he's very manly. He's very goated, right? He's very cool. And everybody's like, whoa, this guy's still alive. I would love to still be alive. He must be wise. He must have something interesting to say. He must have a perspective that we don't have. Because, you know, he's still alive. And that guy isn't. When in truth, he's probably still in the fucking cave, breeding with the women at the ripe age of 40, 50 years old. Because he was a coward, and his tribe lost to another tribe, and he kind of just infiltrated after the fact. Like, maybe it was a really big war, and there was mutual destruction, and now this guy's kind of top of the totem pole just because he was the last one surviving. It's like Battle Royale, right? We have these Battle Royales, these matches, where people are alive at the end of it, like, they win the Battle Royale, but that's because everybody else is fucking dead, not because they actually did any killing, not because they did anything heroic or important, right? Anyway, we have this guy. And he's breeding, he's telling all his fucking kids how fucking cool, how good he is. But, of course, at this age, well, whatever fucking age he's at, he's probably eaten God knows how many poisonous plants. right? He's taken too many hits to the head with a fucking rock. He's probably schizophrenic in some way. He has some mental issues. He has some trauma. He's been dealing with some bit shit because he's a fucking caveman, and cavemen aren't doing too hot apparently. I don't fucking know, dude. Anyway, he's not mentally he's not mentally there. So he's telling his fucking kids and everybody who looks up to him, guys, listen, you gotta hear me out. This is super goated, okay? There's some guy, right? Hear me out. No, this is alright. Listen. There's some guy, and he's like up there. He's up there in the fucking in the sky thing, up there, and he's pulling the sun with a rope. I'm not joking. It's real. It's real. Look it up. Look it up. Do your own fact checking. Look it up. It's super fucking real. All right, I'm not lying. I can't spoon feed you all this information. You have to look it up. You have to do your own research. And everybody's like, "Oh wow, there's some guy," and he's like, and fucking village elder's like, "Yes," but he turns it to night. Like he makes the moon come to rule over us all way faster than normal. If I am unpleased, no shot. If you're sad, night comes faster. Yep, and that's how they fucking that's how they explain the seasons and shit. The village elder's sad. What can we do, village elders? Yes, give me all of the fucking virgin women. Give them all to me. And I will make sure nothing bad happens. Listen, this may seem like far-fetched, right? But we have to remember, there are tribes and people who are like committing cannibalism. There are people who are throwing virgins into volcanoes, okay? We had plenty of fucking reasons to do horrible things in the name of some god who is not going to bring down wrath on us. I was talking with a friend about this earlier, about theology, and we have this thing where, like, Eastern cultures, they talk about wanting to ascend to godhood, and ascending to godhood is what virtuous people do. If you're virtuous, you become a god in some way. You're remembered as an immortal. But in Western cultures, we fear our gods, okay? Kronos ate his fucking kids. Let's not forget that Zeus raped women, right? Gods are terrible fucking people. Poseidon, if he's mad, he's just going to sink your boat. And we're sitting here doing whatever the fuck we can to please the gods and make sure they don't get angry, they don't get pissy. This is how Westerners treat gods. It is completely fucking different. And I think it's super interesting that that's the case. Anyway, I've gotten way off track. This is like a solid 10-minute segment, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that we are down bad right now, and I don't really have an answer, but hey, look, I'll let you get back to the video, okay? I'm not really satisfied with the easy answer of, oh, you know, times change, and women's suffrage, and whatever the fuck. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied with it just being an issue of roles. I think there's something more to it. Yes, hail the Union, or whatever. We're gonna go back all the way to the starting place and see if I can find what I'm looking for there. I'll be able to map shit out that way too. So, back into the LOD forest. What I've ultimately learned to understand is that not only is this issue complex as in, like, we're all human and we have different experiences, but it's also complex as in it's somewhat difficult to believe that our culture is agnostic to why we are and how we are. Something I kind of neglected to think about for that video and for my friend's situation when he was falling into that pipeline was, you know, I don't think this is something that all countries in the world are dealing with. And I sat there like trying to really figure out where the differences between the countries that are dealing with this. Oh my god, he died in one hit. Someone help that guy, what the fuck? Yeah, these are absolutely still fucked. What are the differences between the countries that are falling deep into despair over this crisis and the ones who aren't? And should we use the same standards according to everybody, right? I think that, for example, we know that Nordic countries have a very sex-positive culture, right? I don't think anybody's going to call you a slut in the Nordic countries. But if you act like that in Eastern Europe, Slavic countries, I guess, you are absolutely a slut. And there's going to be a lot of trouble that comes your way for behaving like that. So is the solution to make Slavic people more like Nordic people? Is the goal really to overwrite a culture? Is that justified? If a culture is considered lesser, is it justified to overwrite it? All their differences, if they're seen as wrong, should you overwrite that? A common one that I've always thought of when I was a kid was Muslim cultures. I grew up in a Unitarian Church. And one of the things that they emphasize in Unitarian Universalist Church is that we should read up on other religions. We should be tolerant, we should be mindful, and we should study. One of the things I had to study during my Bible class was Muslims and like the entire religion around that, and I had to sit there and read a translated version of the Quran that was only as big as my palm. So I don't even know if that was the full thing. I also had the opportunity to go to a mosque, and like they have these super plush carpets, and it's like I thought that would be like hurting kneeling on those things, but no, they're thick. They're thicker than how do you even explain this? It's like from the tip of your middle finger all the way to your wrist. That's how thick these carpets are. Okay, these things are plush, so you can kneel on that thing all day, and that's pretty much what we fucking did for like hours, just kneeling and chanting and singing songs and shit. There we go. So what did I just do? Vanillus Fortress. Is that really where I'm at right now? Is that what that is? Probably. But I spent all this time reading about it and studying it, but I couldn't find myself really empathizing or understanding why they believed the things they believed. What I did understand was that the media that I was exposed to that had to do with Muslims. I remember being in first grade when I saw September 11th, and I remember very vividly seeing the culture around Muslims change. I had a classmate in middle school who was Muslim, but he only told that to me, and I understood why. At the same time, I know kids whose parents and grandparents died in 9/11, and it's difficult for me to tell them, oh, just be more accepting. Oh, they're not all like that. And it really did feel like a fight against an entire religion. It just felt like this type of behavior, it was incompatible with our values, and for the most part, that was probably true. In the Quran, and I'm hesitant to speak about this because you have to be careful when you're talking about extremism and extreme ideas. Not because it can get you banned from YouTube. I don't really care about that, but because extremists are extreme. And they do extreme things. In the Quran, infidels are defined as anyone who doesn't believe in the Quran, right? It doesn't say that you should go around killing infidels, but it does say that you should try your best to convert them. And if they're unwilling to convert, then it becomes a fight. I think there's different types of Muslims as well. There's a type that actually like faithfully follow the Quran and its teachings. But then there's the types that I call them American Muslims, and they don't give a fuck about any of that. They're like, what? Why would I ever kill anybody for not believing in the Quran? I'm tolerant. I'm like, oh, good for you. There's an absolute difference between the people who literally follow this stuff and the people who do not. I think the people who do not, they get lumped in with the people who do, and it's naturally it hurts. And once again, it's hard to tell people, hey, don't worry about that. I know this event happened that scarred you, but you shouldn't be sad. Stop being sad. Stop being worried. Stop being paranoid. That's not very realistic. We know that it's toxic. We know that it's dangerous. We know that it inspires violence. But for some reason, we've never said, should we change it? I don't think there's anybody that would say that. Well, I'll take that back. I think conservatives would gladly say, yes, we obviously should change it. But I don't think there's many people who would. I think that most people agree that, okay, it's a different way of life, a way of life that we certainly don't want to live. But we shouldn't eliminate it from the fucking map, right? We shouldn't override it. Because it's dominating. It speaks to this evil thing called colonialism, which we all want to avoid. We don't want to do that anymore. We've moved past that. We're better than that now. That's the idea, anyway. That's what people tell you. I don't fully believe it. But okay, if that's the goal we want to work towards, then we have to necessarily let this type of expression exist. Oh, this is for that quest. Good. Okay, cool. Even if that religion, even if that culture is harmful, we should allow it to exist. So that means that in Eastern countries, in Eastern European countries, and yes, sluts are going to be sluts, and the only thing that should change that is inside the culture. Outsiders should not involve themselves. There's a type of sovereign idea that we have, the idea of sovereignty that we guarantee to nations because, you know, it's democratic, it's freedom. You have the freedom to do these things. So, okay, if that's the fucking case, then all the change that we have to fucking see, well, have to see, like, who's defining that exactly? I was thinking about this a lot. That's kind of why why I haven't recorded a video in so fucking long. It's because I had a lot of thinking to do on this. What did I not spend? I'll put into Persona. That's pretty good. I should have put into Speed. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. I was thinking about this for so long that I kept going around in circles like, okay, we shouldn't force people to change. Forcing change is bad. You necessarily have to force change for things to get better. I don't think anybody's sitting here saying, oh yeah, bro, we should talk it out to stop slavery. I don't think that worked. I think it solidified things, talking it out, right? But at first, all change necessarily has to come from violence, and the question is, who gets to dish out the violence? I watched this other yapper who reminded me of John Locke and the idea of the social contract. The idea behind the social contract is that you necessarily give up your rights to fight back, but in exchange you get the safety and security that is a society. All these things are granted to you. They're guaranteed. No one wants to live in an unsafe world. You don't want to go back to the days where you're living in the forest and getting eaten by bears. So we give up certain freedoms in order to say, okay, we're all in this together. We'll all follow the laws. And I have given you the right to rule over me. Don't fuck me up, please. What is this for? Is this another situation where there's 3 of them, or... Oh, only 2. Okay, never mind. 20, huh? Okay. I'm not sure how much 20 is, but... That's nice. I like it. I don't know why I started talking about John Locke and the social fucking contract. That really has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Well, it kind of does, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the fact that we necessarily have to force change when we shouldn't force change. But it's necessary, but you shouldn't. I've been going back and forth on this. I missed a box. I have to go back up there. I've been going back and forth on this, and I'm super conflicted. The answer to fix masculinity, as I said in the other video, is to have values and stick and stand by those values. That's the healthy way to be masculine. And then I also added on, but masculinity is different for everybody, and you have to find what your values are. What exactly are the things you're willing to stand for? Are you a rebel without a cause? Well, this sounds like you need a cause, buddy. And for most people, that's fine. Most people, that works well enough. But for others, not so much. For others, their cause are things like the manosphere. And I'm not even saying that the manosphere is necessarily a bad cause. When you actually take away some of the bias and you take away some of the loaded language that a lot of them use, there's probably a noble goal somewhere in the manosphere. Well, depending on where you look. Like I said, not every manosphere is Tate's manosphere. Some of them focus on, what are they called? Men go their own way. MGTOW, I think? Some of them focus on this idea that we should have more representation in the courts when it comes to fighting for our children. Yeah, that's probably right. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. If you're willing to be a fucking parent and you know that your ex-wife isn't willing to be a parent, then you should be able to step up and take over, and it shouldn't be some controversial fight that you have to do. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. This door. Me and this door are going to have problems, I swear. Aren't you the person who has... Yeah, here we go. Enjoy your journal. I have another delusion? How many times did I level up? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. We're going to do this. Guile. Yes, sir. Other parts of the manosphere deal with finding purpose and working out and self-improvement, and all those things are good things. Once again, it's loaded. There's a lot of loaded stuff in the manosphere, so you have to be careful about where you look. And if you're a rebel without a cause, then this is going to be your cause, and whenever someone points out, hey, they're using a lot of loaded language here, just making sure we're all on the same page, that women aren't evil and they're not going to take all your money. It seems hard sometimes to get that out of them, because taking even a minor step back means that you've lost your cause and you've lost your manliness, which goes completely against what I advise. I said you should find your values and stick to them. And if your values are to if your values are to live and die for everything MGTOW says, then well, when someone tells you to compromise, you're not really going to compromise, and I guess that can be harmful. Should they force you to compromise? See, it all comes back around. Should you be forced to compromise? It's not like you're exactly hurting anybody, but well, I guess it depends on the ideology. These things are noisy, brother. Once again, Tate, Manosphere, that shit, whew, that seeks to hurt, that seeks to do pain. I remember reading articles about children, literal children, going to elementary school and then shit-talking their female peers, and it's like, what? There's no shot. But yeah, that's what they're up to. That's what they're doing. And like, children are super impressionable. You have to be very careful as a parent about what your child watches. And like, in this day and age where both parents are working and nobody's keeping the fucking house because women have to work. Do they have to work, or do they want to work? Only God knows. I don't have to answer that fucking question. I'm not a woman. But they've been told to fucking work, right? Nobody's sitting watching the house. Nobody's raising the kid. I swear there was a castle here. Where is the castle? Drake, where's the door hole? Where's the castle? It's gone. Okay, buddy. Was it even a castle? Maybe it was a fucking airship. That was probably where it was. It was probably an airship. And because we took over Vera's castle, that's the new headquarters, maybe? I guess. Who knows? Yeah, kids are doing this shit, and I was super disappointed. I wasn't outraged, but I was disappointed because when it gets this out of control, that's an obvious sign things are wrong. Things have gone terribly, terribly wrong. But nobody can seem to fix them, so what's to be done? Once again, necessarily have to force change, but forcing change is a bad thing. Like, who is to be the judge, jury, and executioner? Don't know. Yeah, he's gone too. A lot of things changed when we took over that castle. Like, all these questions led me to listening to all these psychologists and shit, and it once again, I just came back around. None of what they had to say had anything to do at all with the situation that we're going through, this crisis between us all, this lack of unity. Even Alan Watts, a guy I usually like fucking turn to for the sympathetic Zen Buddhist tree-hugging bullshit, like it didn't seem like anything he said lined up either. The cause of our issues is the internet, and there is no way anybody could have seen this coming. There's no prophetic vision that says the internet is this thing, this amalgamating force that is going to unify all things, whether they want to be unified or not. There was nothing. They all have presumptions about how the world is, and it isn't like that anymore. The world has changed far too much for their prescriptions and their theories to be useful. Which is weird, because we still talk about it in the social zeitgeist as if it's all fucking useful, as if it all makes sense. It doesn't. We sure as hell treat it that way, though. I don't know why I'm in here. I'm supposed to be expanding the map and looking for my goddamn. Not active. Great. Fun. If these therapists didn't have the answer, psychologists didn't have the answer, sociologists certainly didn't have the fucking answer, otherwise it would have been fixed already. I can't help but wonder, what are the steps, the concrete steps, that one should take in trying to make the world a better place at the moment? The internet has radicalized us, and because it feels so good to have a camp you belong to, you can't exactly just pull people away from their camp. And you can't tell people to get off the internet either, because once again, the internet is entwined with our real lives, and I will continue to say it, and I will always say it. You will never escape from this. You will never escape from the internet. You are stuck here forever. What are the steps? What's the goal? I didn't have an answer. I couldn't find an answer. It's difficult, man. It's like asking, how the fuck do you de-radicalize someone? I don't fucking know. But it didn't feel good to be like complicit. It didn't feel good to me that I had nothing to add about this. Is the solution really just to wait for it to crash and burn and watch everything reset? Because that's the solution I like the least. But I have to admit, it is a solution. It is totally fucking doable to just let everything crash and burn, and when it resets, when it fixes itself, we'll have answers. We'll have a better way of doing things. Things necessarily have to break down before they can get better. But I don't like that. I don't like that answer. I want something different. I want something more hopeful. I don't know. What I found, being this confused about finding nothing. Oh! Look at that. The model's loaded in. That's weird. What I found about finding nothing is that maybe mapping my experiences, or the experiences of that I've found from these philosophers and sociologists and shit, maybe that was the wrong answer all along. And that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of the video, where I was like, listening to these guys is probably a waste of time, if I'm being honest. But I am. Oh my god. Like, that's terrible. Because the truth is, you can probably get the answer from looking into yourself, I guess. And that sounds like a very hippie thing to say. What happened, bro? You fall off the bridge. How do you get up there? I want to get up there. You have to go across the bridge. Fuck. the answer probably is something having to do with becoming whole. If you fill up all the voids in your life, and there's nothing left that's empty, then it's easier to abstract the useful advice from places like the manosphere and feminism, and leave all the bitter bullshit behind. How do you improve your life? Well, it's different for everybody. But I think that something that's probably universal is becoming more a part of the world. This brings back to the hippie bullshit. This is why I like Alan Watts so much. That hippie bullshit is it's super endearing. It does offer an answer where otherwise you wouldn't find one. Did I hit it? Oh my god, I hit it. I'm fucking clean. I'm crazy. I don't mean to say that we should, like, drop everything and become lone wanderers and pack up a fucking caravan and start wandering around preaching about how we're all human, bro. We all bleed red, man. See that tree over there? It's human too, bro. It's the spirit of the tree, bro. You trying to spark up? I don't think being hippies is the fucking answer, but how do you translate that? How do you translate becoming part of the world to someone who obviously is not part of the fucking world? How do you give someone purpose where they can't find any otherwise? You know, my magic does a lot of damage. I'm a bit surprised. There's no way that I found the speed spell up here. There's no shot I did. But I can't think of anywhere else. So here I am. You know, people study this stuff. People far smarter than me study this stuff. They couldn't find a fucking answer. Make the world a better place. Tangibly take steps to improve it. Oh, that's crazy talk. What the fuck, dude? What am I looking at, bro? Are these his feet? This is his face. I see. So this guy made a tribute to a god, and the god made him like this. That's very disgusting. It's like super fucking gross, actually. What the fuck? Wait, where did I just come out from? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, I see. Was there anything else up there? There probably was. Let me go back up. Rather than trying to translate being a part of the world, we're probably going to have better success convincing people that things are going to be alright. Even though that's very difficult to do as well. Yeah, I don't have a fucking answer. Something has to be done. You can't stay like this. Well, that's what I thought, at least. I had a phase when I was, younger. That was basically, like, full-on nihilism, right? I didn't believe at all in the fucking indomitable human spirit. I thought it was all bullshit. I can't believe I made that jump. I'm sick. What the fuck? What is this, dude? Why do I keep finding weird shit? It's a dead guy. A fungus that feeds on dead people. Nice. Yeah, that's delicious. Jesus Christ. And it's situations like this that really fed that nihilism within me. That made me think that, well, if there's no fucking answer, then that means it's pretty much a lost cause, right? How could you ever possibly think or believe that? I just had this, like, I had this feeling screaming inside me, you cannot make that jump. I can't. No, I don't have enough. If I had the sweet spell, I could make it. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I forgot about that tower over there. Let me get to it. Trying to persuade people to come over to the side of the indomitable human spirit is like trying to create something from nothing. Truly. See, I can make this jump just fine. There we go. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. You need to chill on me, bro. I had this idea that, well, you can't save everyone. And you know, that's true. You can't save everyone. Huh? You wouldn't attack me. I thought we were boys. Why would you attack me? Come on, man. There's no reason to do all that. You know, he's a magician. Is there a spell in here by chance? Huh? There it is! Oh, I've been looking for this, bro. Oh, I've been looking for this. I've been looking for this for so long. Now I can do it. I can do the thing. How do I change my... There we go. Right. Oh, wait. Can I sleep in this? No, I can't. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're gone. Oh, shit. Yes. Okay. I can totally make that jump. Now I can make the jump. I'm going to fucking do it. If you can't save everyone, I think that Maybe that crash and burn thing wasn't so bad after all. Yep, this is the jump. Okay, here we go. Woo! Oh, I overshot that. That's easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. Oh, I love that. Love that. That was easy as fuck. I don't know. I've been super unsure about it. Now I was kind of tired about hesitating to talk about it. Because, well, I don't like to talk about shit where I don't have an answer. I couldn't just sit on this forever. I have so many other fucking things I wanted to get off my mind. Like, this was nagging at me. Can I harvest you? No. That's the thing that shot the homing missiles. I remember you. Eat shit. Why do you scream? That was not necessary, bro. Can I harvest you? What is that? What is it? What faction is she from? I don't recognize that. Ow. I don't recognize her. I don't know. She's dead. I feel like I wasn't supposed to kill her. Why do I feel like I did something wrong? Who was she? All these answers and more on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Yo, that guy died, bro. I'm so sad. Man, he was a fucking legend. People are aging out, man. I hate to see it. I know it was inevitable, but it doesn't change how sad I am. I grew up with anime, bro. Kiri Toriyama. And he had a fucking, he has his name on a game that's coming out. Sandland or something. And that shit looks sick. Whatever. I'm done yapping. I'm fucking off to, figure out why I can never find a door that's openable.